All right, we're live. How's it going, folks? Wits NFL back again for another review. I am just posting this link to my Discord. All right, we're good to go. Thank you guys for dropping by. Appreciate you. So, as the title says, we will be reviewing ships live. Just gonna be knocking them out. I won't necessarily be clipping them and posting them because that would be bad for the algorithm. And this is a series that I would like to grow my channel with. Bitches love reviews, tutorials, you know. So ship reviews, pretty good way to do it. So I may be releasing these probably once a day, maybe twice a day. Who knows? But we'll see how many we get. I just tried to review the skein, and that one didn't go well. A little too unwell, so it wouldn't have made for a very good review. So, that has not finished up. We are going to do something that is less likely to go terribly, and more likely either great or okay. And we're going to be going from tier 5 and kind of working our way up. So, first of all, I'm going to start this off with the Tennessee. The tier 5 American battleship, the Tennessee. Hello, Race Fun. Welcome back to you too. So, Tennessee is a nice, thick battleship. It is a part of the secondary American line. If we go here, take a look. There it is. So, you can see Tennessee's the tier 5. I'll be, for now at least, keeping these at tier 5 and above. Because this is kind of where the gameplay, I like to keep it above anyway, personally. This through beyond tier 7 into legendary tier. So, this is where I would like to be doing it. So, for the first one we're going to be doing the Tennessee. Now, for our mods, we have AA Guns Mod 2. You could do secondary mod, but here's the thing, folks. Secondaries on a lot of battleships are not going to save you, you know? This ship has very short range secondaries, so is that extra, I don't know, kilometer gonna save you from a destroyer YOLO rush? Probably not. Probably not at all. However, the AA guns, that 20% firing range, that can be the difference between you getting off, the carrier getting 10, you know, squadrons on you versus 8. So that's going to be a big difference. If a carrier's wanting to focus you, you'll be taking them down a lot. They'll have a lot harder time trying to get you. Next up, we got propulsion mod. You know, I'm usually not going full speed in this ship, so the ability to change speed is pretty key, I think. And we've got it fully upgraded. I have no camos on this ship, so it's fully naked. How's it going, Wildlands? How's it going, Doug? How's it going? So, for our commander, we have William Sims. William Sims is the dispersion commander for the Americans, running flammable cannoneer, gyrating drill bits, marksman's ship, and reaching out XXL with real will to rebuild. Is that worth it? No, that doesn't really do anything. So, okay. Anyway, that's where we're at. For our inspirations, we have Azure Lane Scharnhorst and Paolo di Ravel. If you don't have Azure Lane Scharnhorst, switch it for Cunningham. You know, pretty much will do the same thing. I don't recommend Scharnhorst Cunningham. Not that it's bad, but mostly because you're going to be, it's diminishing returns. And honestly, I don't notice a difference in the dispersion between di Ravel versus Cunningham. So I'd rather have the 5.4% reload, because you'll definitely notice those extra few seconds. For the statistics of this ship, we have 54,200 hit points with this build, and with our Sims level. 37% torpedo damage reduction, which is pretty good, because this is a thick battleship. It gets nice and thick torpedo belts. With this build, we have 28.4 second reload. Normally, that's somewhere in the 30s. So again, you really notice di Ravel for sure. 5,000 maximum HE damage, 30% fire chance, average. AP shell damage of 11,550, and these are 356 or 14-inch guns. What's the significance of that? it means you cannot overmatch 25 millimeters of bow plating, which is mostly what Tier 5 is. All of Tier 5 is, really. Secondary, you can see it only reaches out to 4 kilometers. They're not, you know, these are not going to save you from a destroyer. They might take an extra 1,000 off of them, but you should not be speccing into secondaries with this ship. 61 AA defense, you can see it reaches out to, at most, 4.2 kilometers. So short range, but they do a lot of damage. Very slow at 18.9 knots, but rudder shift is pretty good at 15.3. And 14.2 kilometer detection. It's a battleship, so that's it. Let's go ahead and get to the gameplay with the good old-fashioned Tennessee. I do very much like the Tennessee. It is one of my favorites at Tier 5, in fact. Tennessee's a nasty ship, really is. Yes, Azure Lane Scharnhorst will be out soon again. If you do not have it, that is, as a battleship commander, that's probably the one premium commander I recommend you get. Very, very good inspiration. What's up, Jacob? Yes, Tennessee's a load of fun to play. One of my favorites at Tier 5. Tier 5 is a pretty fun tier. And we get a 4 destroyer game. We have, I mean, Monty 1970 SS. I see this guy a lot. I'm pretty sure I've seen him from Spartan's channel. We're bottom tier. We have a North Carolina and a Mutsu. Both of those things overmatch us. So, gotta keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and turn our guns. So we have a Budyoni, which is a radar cruiser. Not a great one, but a radar cruiser nonetheless. And a Vasteros. They have an Akatsuki, which is a little scary. But if our teammates do their jobs correctly and we help them out and shoot it, we should be able to take it down.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
Alright, there's the Arizona. Arizona is basically a less DPM but thicker armor Tennessee. Plays very similar. It's a tankier Tennessee but less damage output.
I need intelligence data.
We're gonna be that guy. Alright, one of you guys get out there and spot him, please. Come on, Vasteros. You gonna do it? So Arizona, it's hard to know what this guy was going for here. He could be retreating, could be pushing right into the cap. Looks like he's pushing right into the cap. So because we don't overmatch, we're gonna aim for that superstructure. Never mind, because he's gonna drop spot. Spent too long. Oh, hello, Akatsuki. We're going to shoot the Akatsuki instead.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
We got him pretty good. That should be enough to help out our teammates a little bit there. Alright, Arizona's going to be giving us a pretty good angle here. Mutsu's dead center in the cap. And we drop spot. There are torpedoes. So this is a tricky one to place. Like I said, he has some pretty thick upper belt plating, which means it's harder to find a penetration angle. We aimed a little higher because the belt's very thick. The upper belt, not as much, but a little thicker than ours. Let's go ahead and take that other shot. We smacked him for 12, 15K. So that was only with 3 guns. Not sure why he's dropped spot. That's a lot of torpedoes, though. Alright, so we have 2 destroyers in this cap, which is not good. This guy is sitting flat broadside to us. I wish we could get off a full salvo, but that would involve taking a torpedo. Don't want to be doing that just yet.
Torpedoes, dead
There'll be
ahead.
plenty of time for that in 30 seconds when they have their torpedoes reloaded. Okay, Mutsu has decided he would like to choose death. So, I do say we shall oblige. Oh, there's our Citadel. Now, that is the one thing about these American 14s. They do not overmatch, but they're accurate, they hit hard, and you get a ton of them. Alright, we are at a scenario where we really need to start kiting. Because we got 2 destroyers over here. That did not go well. There's the Icarus. Okay. Oof. That could have gone a lot worse. Ask me how I know. Oh. Okay. Alright, not terrible. Not great, but not terrible.
Attention. Reporting the target position.
Aiming up. Just when we shoot, this guy gets spotted.
Problem solved, sir. The ship is on fire.
Now, Mutsu does overmatch us. It has 16-inch guns. We are covered in 25mm plating, which I will go over the armor plating after this, now that I think about it, and the consumables. It's hard to pick who to shoot at.
Enemy battleship sighted.
Mutsu's giving us very good angles, so I think I'm going to have to go with that one.
Critically damaged.
Yep, that was a good decision. We're getting HE spammed into oblivion here. A lot of destroyers out there.
Attention. Reporting the target position.
Are they in? Oh, there's another destroyer out in A. All right. Unfortunately, it seems they've steamrolled the other flank. Or they just rushed the middle. It's hard to decide which. They have steamrolled our flank too. Well, that one went how it did. It's hard to say. I mean, they've got an advantage, I would say, at this point. We have won this side, but this side completely collapsed. Really was a matter of time, I would say, but I was hoping to be able to hold out a little bit longer, but we were getting focused pretty hard there. Destroyer died a little too early to really effectively hold the side. Let's go ahead and go back to port. Now, I don't know that we're going to be able to see the armor viewer, but we can take a look at Arizona's armor because it's very similar. Real quick, consumables, we get 3 heals. We have a fighter, we have a spotter. Secondaries, do the spotter, 100%. That increases your shell grouping, so it's going to make your salvos more accurate. That's 100% worth it. We cannot see the armor because the ship's in battle. I really don't like that. But let's take a look at the Arizona, just that way we can understand what was going on there a little bit more, and you can understand what I'm talking about. So, Arizona is very similar. I don't think they're the exact same class, but they're a very similar class of battleship. Now you can see bow and stern, 25mm. That is the exact same as the Tennessee. Torpedo belt's pretty much the same. If we take a look, you can see that we have a slightly raised citadel and nice thick casemate on this ship. Very thick armor at 330mm. Now, what I was talking about with the Arizona having thicker armor, if we take a look at the casemate, somewhere here, I believe it is... There it is, right there. You notice the 37mm right there across the side. It's highlighted. It's kind of flashing a little bit. That is part of the upper belt. Now, the advantage of this means you're not going to get overmatched if they hit that section of the belt. And really, since you have thicker belt armor below that, that means not the entirety of your ship is being overmatched by 15-inch guns. So it makes you a little bit tankier. In comparison, Tennessee is basically the same armor layout, except for that 37mm stripe. That's all 25, which means the top half of your belt gets overmatched by 15-inch guns or larger. So this thing's quite a bit tankier, but you also notice the reload is quite a bit longer by 5 seconds, so pretty substantial stuff. That was the Tennessee. If you guys enjoyed that video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video. On to the next ship. Next ship we are going to review here, I'm going to do another tech tree. Let's go ahead and do the Queen Elizabeth. So, today, I'm going to be reviewing the Queen Elizabeth. Now this is a Tier 5 British battleship. Personally, I think it's the best tech tree Tier 5 battleship in the game. Tennessee is a close second, I would say, but this thing is, I'd take this over Tennessee all day, all night. We take a look at our commander. I am running Azurlane Nelson. This is the build I'd run with Queen Elizabeth, just because it's an AP ship, not an HE ship. You overmatch like everything you're going to come across. No real reason to be shooting HE very often, so I run gyrating drill bits over Big 7. If you do not have Azurlane Nelson, go ahead and throw on your boy Cunningham. Good old Cunningham here. This is not the build I'd run. I'd switch this guy for De Revel. But yeah, other than that, this is the build right here. So, Queen Elizabeth is a Tier 5 battleship. If we take a look at our build, we have Aiming Systems Mod 1 for that extra dispersion. We have Propulsion Mod, and then that's it, because it's Tier 5. With this build, we have 5 repair parties. Most people are going to end up with 3, but we have 5, though we do not have Will to Rebuild. We're running the Spotter Plane, and we have 55,300 hit points with a 22% torpedo damage reduction. 28.4 second reload. You notice these are 381s, which is 15-inch guns. What is the significance of that? It means you overmatch 25mm of bow plating, which if we take a look at our bow plating here, this is 25mm, which means we overmatch ourselves. If you take a look at any ship at Tier 5 or Tier 6, they are going to have 25mm of bow plating. Some of them will have an icebreaker, but the top section is going to be 25 all the same. That means every bow you come across in the game, as long as you're not failed divisioning this ship into Tier 7, you will be able to overmatch, which is a huge advantage. Huge. These are also accurate guns. Now the HE is not anything to sleep on with 6,300 maximum shell damage and 35% fire damage. We have 12,540 AP as well, which is pretty good. This is short fused AP, keep that in mind. So you're not as likely to score citadels on battleships. You notice in the Tennessee review, we had a couple of citadels. It wasn't anything crazy, but we had a couple citadels. This one, less likely to do that, but you're less likely to overpen, cruisers. The other thing is you're overmatching everyone's bow, so if you got massive citadels on top of that, that would be a little broken, and it would kind of put everything else to shame, so it is what it is. Secondaries, again, nothing to scoff at there, nothing to, write home about either, though. AA defense is pretty good. 67 rated, shoot out to 5 kilometers, pretty solid damage. 21.2 knots, it is slow, but it's also a Tier 5 battleship, so you get what you get. 15.1 rudder shift, and again, it's a battleship. We'll take a look at the armor viewer here. 25mm bow, but you do have that weird little section if we remove. No, we can't even do that. So it is a 25mm bow. You got to be careful about this plating here. This is likely to get you nuked through the bow if you're going against anything else, so be a little careful. But you're not going to be taking too massive damage from the bow, but you can absolutely get hurt. Perhaps more than other ships, but you're not going to be getting dev struck, so you don't have to worry about that. Let's take a look. Now, the armored belt itself, we can see has 330mm. It's very thick. We go and remove everything else here. Kind of a weird little armor scheme, isn't it? Citadel is submerged, and you definitely notice that. You don't get citadels on Queen Elizabeth's very often. It can happen, but it's not often. Not to say they can't be absolutely smashed if they go broadside, but not going to be getting citadels too often. That's really about all there is with the armor viewer. The upper half of the belt is a thicker than 25. I can't exactly see what it is. 152 it looks like. So pretty thick. Pretty thick indeed. It's a good ship. It's a very good ship, in fact. It's one of my favorites at Tier 5. Now, these were a series of real ships. There were 5 of them, including the Warspite. They were massively successful. Probably the best bang for your buck of any battleship ever built, especially the Warspite. That is probably the most successful battleship ever built, bar none. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get to the gameplay for the good old Queen Elizabeth here. If you guys are enjoying the stream, don't forget to leave a like. If you are watching this after it's been clipped and posted, don't forget to leave a like there too. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. I greatly appreciate that. Trying to hit 200 subs. I would really like to by the end of the week. We got 4 days left in the week. But I think we can do it. We're at, what, 166, 167 now? We've gained 30 subs in the last week, so I don't see why we can't do it again. We are at 166 right now, so we need 34 more to go. So we're bottom tier. Now, a lot of things that overmatch us, but we overmatch everything else. Personally, this is one of the few ships that I could not care less what tier I end up in. I literally do not care, because I don't have to change anything about my strategy. I don't have to change anything about my gameplay. I don't feel disadvantaged by being bottom tier, because I have not only guns that are accurate, not only guns that hit hard, but guns that overmatch. So you can overmatch me? Cool. I can do it right back. Let's see who wins. What's up, kiddies? Now, that's not to say that the tier above us doesn't have a slight advantage, but we're not at a massive disadvantage being bottom tier. And personally, I am confident enough in my skills as a captain that I can, especially a battleship captain, that I can take most people one-on-one. So, you know, that's the other part of the equation. I don't have any statistical disadvantages, really. Now we do have to be a little careful here, in case somebody decides they want to take a little pot shot at our broadside. Ah, there is the Devonshire, who hasn't found out what to do just yet. We're going to shoot right there. Now look at that dispersion. That is very, very good dispersion, especially for tier 5. And there went 10k. 11k. Same thing. I think he learned his lesson so far. Got to be careful about those torpedoes here. I don't know what it was. We have 4 destroyers in this map, so there's that to consider. Let's go ahead and take that. Again, he's slowing down, I think.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
Yeah, but very good dispersion. You get the point. Let's go ahead and pop heal number 1, and let's go ahead and hurt the Devonshire. Now we do have to be careful about the Colorado here. Yeah, you see, he got 6k, which is not great, but not terrible. Uh-oh, Vauquelin.
All stations requesting fire support.
We do need to take a shot to help out our guy here. I am 100% going to be shooting that Bachman. Don't have a shot on him. Let's go ahead and shoot the Devonshire instead. Oof. A lot of things over here, unfortunately. Very nice work. I appreciate that, teammate. Let's go ahead and get to a point where these guys can't all shoot at us.
Enemy destroyer detected.
Main turret
We're a
critically
little
damaged.
too exposed in this position. Okay.
Problem solved, sir.
He's chunking us pretty good.
Critically damaged. Attention. Reporting a target's position.
We don't want this guy to feel ballsy enough to come out and spot us. So we want to be hurting him. Now, he does have quite a few heals, and we're noticing that. We're going to force this Nagato to come to us, rather than us going to him. What's up, Emma Weezy? He is still reversing, which is interesting. But we got a flat broadside Nagato out there. Let's go ahead and do what we want to do to him.
Spotter L.
Nothing fantastic there. Oh, we straddle him with the other shells. I really want to get to a point where I'm shooting most of my guns, if not all my guns again. I want to kill this guy
reporting the position of a strategic target.
before he gets too much on my nerves. Ooh, boy. New Mexico took a shot at us. Wow. Go ahead and damage con that. There's the pitted L.
An enemy cruiser.
Enemy battleship.
We are getting to a point where we do have to start pulling back a little bit here. Little too many things that can shoot at us right now.
Destroyer sighted.
Luckily, Nagato's guns are not facing towards us. We do want to go ahead and shoot these destroyers. Oh yeah. This guy is just stuck. Oh no! He fixed it just when we got that shot off.
Attention.
We do need to
Support
support the
that
guy.
target.
Busy day? Yeah, me too. It was a stressful day at work for me. Now you notice we've put an island between us and the other two battleships. We're not retreating from the side, but we can't get focused by an overloaded cap, which is at the end of the day what it is. So what we can do is go out there and help our guy, maybe chunk these destroyers a little bit more. Hopefully help them to win that side.
Main turret critically
Apparently our
damaged.
turrets are made of paper mache today. Ooh. Here it comes. So it starts. Oh, there we go. Very nice. Let's go ahead and swap the AP. Pop another heal. And we're taking this one engagement at a time from this point, which means limiting who can shoot at us. In this case, we just want to be engaging the New Mexico here. See, we're angled in this ship. Now, very nice firing angles with this ship. That is a key key drawing point, at least for me. We're going to be shooting the belt just because he's kind of going forward, kind of not. He chunked us pretty good, and there went our gun. Yeah, that's how it goes. That is one of our front guns, too. That's phenomenal. We do have to be careful. There is another destroyer in there, so let's go and load HE, actually. You know what? No, let's stick to AP for now. And we want to go ahead and turn, because there's probably torpedoes coming towards us. There it is.
Capture the base.
That's not what I meant. Let's try and get that side plating of the bow. Hard shot to place at this point. He's kind of varying his speed, driving too slow. He could start to accelerate, or he could continue that speed. Very hard to say. It's kind of been one of those games where everyone wants your soul. And he bounced the shells. He's reversing. We're gonna shoot right there. We should use another spotter, but I don't want to get torpedoed right now, so that's kind of the reason I'm still reversing. Only 4K. Again, you're not really going to be getting massive salvos out of this ship, but you are going to be getting consistent damage, and you do have the ability to overmatch people, so it's give and take. See, very good dispersion though. Now we do overmatch the top section of his ship, so you can see 8K. Alright, there's the Colorado. Okay. We didn't need guns anyway. Now we do overmatch the Colorado. He overmatches us too, but we also overmatch him. So there's 8K. We overmatched the top section of his ship, his deck, his bow. The only thing we don't overmatch is the actual Citadel armor. We gotta be careful about reversing because that Ashan still wants our soul here. So he is coming towards us. I don't know what the point of what he's doing now is. That one didn't get as much. We're aiming for the bow. We want to be going through that right there. Because we overmatch it, we can just blast right through it. Do I have Azure Lane Queen Elizabeth? Yes. Yes, I do. Missed a lot of those shells. Now at this point, we can do a couple of things. We could try and beat this guy in a gunfight, which is quite possible if he shoots that section of our ship instead of our bow. It seems he may be a newer player. It's a naked Colorado. If he recognized that he could overmatch our bow, he could absolutely smack us. There is a real possibility that we beat this guy in a gunfight. However, there's also a real possibility that we lose the gunfight. What's going to happen? I don't know. What I do know... Ooh, that one hurt. What I do know is if he goes flat broadside at this angle, at this range, it's going to hurt. And there went 15K. Let's just see where he shoots. Belt. Okay. Interesting. And he gets a fire. Can we kill him before the fire kills us? Ooh, I don't know. Nope. Nope. Fire got us a little too early. We got a double fire with those secondaries. But, pretty solid game. 126,369 damage, 1 Citadel, 63 hits, high cal, Confederate. Pretty good one. And it should be a win by this point. We have a destroyer. They do not. So, really all we have to do is just run. Just don't die. We don't have to win harder than that. That said, that was the Queen Elizabeth. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you have not already. I'd really like to hit 200 subs by the end of the week. Help me get there. I will catch you guys in the next one. Be on the lookout for more of these ship reviews. And off to the next one. I have really only seen one AL Queen Elizabeth, I think. I really don't get the difference, honestly. It's the same ship, isn't it? What next? What do you guys want to see reviewed next? Anyone, any suggestions? I'm keeping it at tier 5 for now. These are my tier 5s that I've not sold. Maybe Nuremberg. Yeah, I'm thinking Nuremberg. Okay, let's do... What's the best tech tree French battleship? Well, I think you know my answer to that one if you've been watching this channel for any significant amount of time. That is unquestionably the Richelieu. Not just because it's the tier 7, but because it's a beast. Leon would be a close second. But not that close. But still pretty close, you know? But, again, not that close. Alright, let's do the Nuremberg. Ismail for the heck of it. I think I sold that ship. That ship was miserable for me. I'm gonna do the Nuremberg. I've made up my mind. Alright. How's it going, folks? Witsend FL back again for another honest one-take review. Today we have the Nuremberg. Nuremberg is a tier 5 German cruiser. It is a light cruiser rather than a heavy cruiser. Now after this one you're going to start to get into the heavies. But for now we're still enjoying the joys of the light cruiser line. So for our commander we have Karl von Muller. We have Beyond Range, Igniter, Punch Through, Steer Clear, and Refill Station. And for our 2 inspirations we have Charles Madden and Francesco Mimbelli. This is a full reload build. Really, we should... I would honestly recommend swapping this for a Velocious. Just because the extra speed, while you may not think it matters, it really does matter. It's going to make dodging shells 10 times easier. At this tier, because we don't have any heals, you know, I do Refill Station. As soon as you get heals, I recommend fully packed, but because we don't, might as well just get the extra reload. You're not going to use 3 sonars in all likelihood, or 3 fighter planes, but what do I know? So, Nuremberg. Let's go ahead and take a look. We've got steering gears. We have aiming systems, though that probably can be switched. I'm going to go ahead and switch this for AA guns, in fact. You really don't need it with this ship, so... Alright, so we're running AA guns and steering gears. Get those extra protection with the carriers. Now, you do have a sonar. It has 5.3 kilometer detection of ships, which is very good. You have 3.7 kilometer detection of torpedoes. You could swap this for defensive AA fire. Don't do it. That would be stupid. The sonar is much, much more useful. We have a catapult fighter. If we go to the stats, we have 27,000 hit points. We have non-existent torpedo damage reduction, so don't take torps. I mean, you got the sonar, so it's really harder to take torps than you'd think, but I digress. We have 3x3 150mm guns that fire out to 16.3 kilometers, which is a very high range for tier 5. This thing is kind of like high tier HE spam at tier 5. It's honestly they could throw this ship at tier 6, give it the rotor shift mod, maybe a couple heals, it would do just fine. 1700 maximum HE shell damage, 10.5% fire chance with our build, 3900 AP shell damage, 4.5 kilometers. Secondaries, don't worry about your secondaries. I mean, you're going to shred destroyers with your main guns. No real reason to be speccing into secondaries at all. You have 4 triple torpedo launchers that do 13,700 damage each. You have 2 racks of 3 that go 6 kilometers on both sides. What does that mean? That means you've got a bailout button, basically. If a battleship rushes you, as long as you do not get dev struck, which is a possibility, you can basically just torpedo them, and they're dead. Doesn't matter what it is, they're dead. You've got 6 of these torps that hurt. Nothing has that many hit points at this tier. So, you have a great bailout button. You could really probably dev strike 2 battleships with this. AA defense, pretty bad, actually. It's German, so... but we spec'd into AA a little bit, and you do have a fighter plane to help out with that sum. Go 34 knots with this build, 5.8 rudder shift, and 12.3 kilometer detection by sea. Armor, 16 millimeter bow. What's the significance of that? Fuck if I know. No. All I know about cruiser bow plating, as far as the 16s, is they do not get overmatched by 8-inch guns. You know, let me just check a tier 4 battleship real quick. Just for shits and giggles. Just because I know more about this. Is this 16? No, this is 19. Okay, so just figure you're going to be overmatched by any battleship in the game. I think, in fact, Grafspee overmatches the 16mm bow, so you're going to get overmatched. Don't worry about that. Well, do worry about that, but I'll tell you what to do about it. So, 16mm bow and stern. Now, you do technically have some thicker armor at the bottom, but you're never going to be able to use that. Don't worry about it. Let's go ahead and remove everything but the citadel here. Now you'll notice, very lightly armored, also very raised. What is the significance? That means you get dev struck quite a bit, especially if they're aiming for that front by your superstructure and that front gun. That is death right there. If a battleship hits that, that is death. Don't go flat broadside. Really don't give them... Your goal in this ship is to dodge shells. You don't want to take shells. So that means kiting, HE spamming behind islands. You know the deal. So this was a real ship. Entered service in 1935. There was only one of them, which is interesting. You see, full circle. The 2 rear guns can rotate a full 360 degrees, which is actually super, super sick. I mean, that's like something that Weimar loses out on compared to Nuremberg. You have guns where you need them at all times, basically. Sparkless, bullshit. This thing sets so many fires. It's insane. This is the best fire spammer at tier 5. This thing is absolutely insane. Extended sonar, absolutely. Sonar's crazy. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the gameplay. Let me check chat as well, see what I missed. Did I just hear secondary meme build on a cruiser time? Not from me. Somebody said it, but not me. Don't do that. That's a good way to die. What else we got? 2%. What are you talking? What commander? 2% damage bonus to reload, damage, and shell grouping. Special 30% spotter damage. What? Wildlands, what commander are you talking about with that? That sounds sick. Brawler build. Oh, I'm guessing you mean Azure Lane, Queen Elizabeth. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Put an accuracy commander with Paulo, the reload get down to even more interesting. What would you recommend? Would you recommend Italian Cruiser Line? Yes, absolutely. Italian Cruiser Line is a lot of fun, even if it's not like that great. Okay, so this is a carrier game. We are top tier. So I'm going to introduce some of these battleships to what it's like to play at tier 7 and legendary tier, and I'm going to island spam the shit out of people from behind this island here. You notice already those full 360 guns. That's absolutely so cool. You notice we also have, because of the reload station perk, we can shoot out to 17.6 kilometers, which is more than the battleships, which is crazy. That's broken. But normally it's 16.6, 16.1, which is about the same as the battleships. This thing is... You don't want to be on the receiving end of this, I'll put it that way. What we got? Furry Taco. Now we're going to go and switch to AP, just while he's showing us that angle. Now you notice that shell velocity time? Very, very fast. That's flying. For a cruiser, that is absolutely flying. Also, very quick reload. Dispersion's a little wonky. Not that one, though. That's good dispersion. Go ahead and pop a fighter, just because there are planes coming. Uh-oh. Be careful about that. Let's go ahead and swap to HE here. Yes, be absolutely very careful about battleships, especially going flat broadside. That is a recipe for disaster. So, oof, man. Looks like we were the ones spotting that California. Now, he probably cannot lob this island. That's at least the hope here. Something just shot at us. I'm guessing Kirov? Looks Russian. There's our first fire. It's probably going to damage con that. Looks like he's not for now. Alright, we got to be careful about this flank here. I definitely recommend the AA build over the dispersion. Rather than the perk, anyway. Budyani, that's what that was. Let's go ahead and swap to AP real quick. We're lobbing the last two guns. Got 2,900. May not hurt that bad, but he'll miss it. Now these guys over here are pretty well dead. Let's go ahead and get over there. Let's do a little bit of destroyer hunting. Which, after all, being a light cruiser, this is our job. Oh damn, I should have seen that. I guess this guy's just gonna sit here. Alright, let's go ahead and load AP. And we are going to start kiting. Ouch. Especially if these guys are going to be hitting us like that. There's kill one. Königsberg is a down-tier Nürnberg. Ah, there we go. I don't know that that was a double strike, but I'll take it. Load HE. We may have low hit points, Gatey, but that doesn't mean shoot at us. Both for my sake and yours. Although I really shouldn't be the only one shooting at this guy. Furry Taco is tough. I have never played it. I don't think, anyway. Hatsuharu is objectively a bigger threat, so you gotta be careful about that Iron Duke. Pop sonar. Now you see these guns absolutely shred destroyers here. Especially if they give you this angle.
Kritisch beschädigt! Feueralarm! Torpedos voraus! Feueralarm!
Schlachtschiff entdeckt.
He gets us, but not before we melt his hit points, and maybe we get him with torps. Let's see. Probably not. Nope. That's alright. We pretty well melted his hit points, but we don't have any cruisers or destroyers left, which is a problem. We do have a carrier, so all is not lost. Not as many fires as is possible with this ship, but also not terrible. 62,000 damage, 2 kills, first blood. Kind of get the idea of the ship. It's an HE spammer. It's got a great HE, it's got a great AP. It's the best cruiser at tier 5 in my books. All day, all night. Man, we left that guy with just enough to get away. It's probably a good thing, though. As far as, like, we focused the other guy, we got most of his hit points, so if these guys get touched again, they're dead, basically. So it's... they have enough hit points to be clobbered if they get spotted again. This one I am probably going to say is a win. At least that's the hope. Although our carrier player isn't showing a high degree of aiming competency there. Let's hope that changes. Let's go to see what's going on over here. Got a low health California and a broadside Nevada. Who the California is looking at. Oh, he gets touched, but gets touched back. That's not good. Especially with the health points that our California has. We've got the Ranger in range. Let's see what happens with this. He's getting touched, but let's see. Oh, he got touched again. Oh, let's see. Last salvo of justice. Last guns. He does it. He does it. Down goes the enemy carrier. The Hatsuharu, who we left on 1 tap, is the only destroyer left. They have a tier 4 Iron Duke that can get smashed by either of these two things, since he gets overmatched. And we still have our carrier. I'm going to say this one's a win. Good job, teammates. With that said, that is the Nuremberg. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope it was informational. And I hope to catch you guys in the next one. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. Link to the Discord is in description for my channel. That said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you. I put Nuremberg over Pensacola and DeGrasse. Yes, 100%. 100%. Nuremberg's nasty, dude. It's absolutely nasty. You get 360 guns, you get crazy sonar that the Pensacola just doesn't have. You don't get, I mean, you do get nuked, but not that bad. Not as bad as Pensacola. You're also a lot harder to hit than Pensacola. Plus your guns, like, fire off 3 times as fast, so there's that too. Consider that. DeGrasse, I have not played it. What do they have? What? The grass is French, right? No. Nope. Nope. Maybe it's a premium French? It's not in the tech tree. It's probably French. I don't know. I've never played it, so couldn't tell you. As far as tech trees, though, Nuremberg 100% on top. Let's see. That's 3 reviews down. Let's go ahead and let's do the skein. So we can get this one up after we've just reviewed the whatever the tier 5 turd of this line was. Let's go ahead and do the skein. You guys get to listen to my intros and outros like 15 times in this video. Alright. How's it going, folks? Wits NFL back again for another review. This time we have the tier 6 Pan-European skein. I talked a little bit in my last review about how the line is and how it doesn't really come into its own at the last ship. Well, this is kind of where it starts to do that. I think we'll get to see it fulfilled in its entirety, in its glory, with the Ulster Gutland at tier 7. But for now, this is the best we've got, and this is kind of where the line starts to take shape, where it starts to make sense, at least for me. So, Commander, we have Stig Hansen Eriksson. We have Subsurface Venture, Look at Me Now, Perceptive, Destroyer Be Destroyed, and Unstoppable, with our 2 inspirations being Eric Bay and William Sims. I don't recommend double concealment, especially because the low hit points of this thing, you really would like more hit points, and William Sims, with those extra hit points he provides, is a very good inspiration for destroyer commanders in particular. So let's go ahead and take a look at this ship. We're running AA guns mod 2, steering gears, and concealment mod. I don't have the range unlocked, but I don't know that that's really necessary, because you're a destroyer. Even if you are a bit of a gunboat, you want the ability to drop spot quickly since you don't have a smoke screen, and firing out to 11 kilometers is not a good way to do that. You want to be able to outrun your range in some scenarios, so I don't have the range. I may do it, I may not, who knows. Moving on, consumables. We have 2 engine boosts, 2 heals, and unique to tier 6, you are getting defensive AA fire, which is very nice against carriers. Helps out quite a bit. We have 14,920 hit points with this build. Now the guns, 9.7 kilometer firing range. They're 120 millimeters. They're 2x2s, so 2 turrets that have 2 guns each. Total of 4 guns. They reload in 3.5 seconds, which is very quick. Although the German destroyer gets a very quick reload too, so there is that. 18-second 180-degree turn time, pretty quick, but not that quick. 1700 maximum HE shell damage, 7% fire, 2150 AP, and torpedoes. Now this is a little interesting here. What is up, Dakota, by the way? What's up, Doug? Apologize, I missed your chats. I think I missed your chats anyway, Doug. No, I did not. You've been here a little while. Alright. Torpedoes. 51.9 second reload, so very, very quick reload. Maximum damage, you notice that's very low. 7669, very, very low. You're only getting 2 triple launchers, so 6 torpedoes. Now, they do reload quickly. They don't do much damage. They're pretty middle of the road as far as detectability, but if you take a look down at the bottom, 1, 12 kilometer range, which is nuts. 2, 80 knot speed, which is even more nuts. Good luck dodging that. AA defense, we have 60 as far as the AA defense. Fires out to 6 kilometers, which is very nice. That's before you factor in the defensive AA fire. Now, the 6 kilometer range does 49 damage per second. The 4.2 kilometer range does 32 damage per second, and anything that gets close enough to spot you is getting an extra 16 damage per second on top of everything else. And then you can go ahead and pop your defensive AA fire. 36.4 knot speed with this build, 2.6 rudder shift, which is very good. 5.7 kilometer detection, pretty standard there as well. Now this was not a real ship, keep that in mind. I don't know why they didn't just throw the Oland here, doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But one must not question wargaming and their infinite wisdom of microtransactions. So, you can see reloader, yes, 3.5 seconds, pretty quick. Powerful AA defenses, yes. There's nothing else that comes close as far as destroyer AA for the tech tree. And rapid reload, yes, very quick reload. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and get into the gameplay with this one. This one I've got some interesting perspectives on. Let's see what happens. And as always, if you guys are new to the channel, leave a like on the video, even if you're not new to the channel. If you're not already, go ahead and leave a subscribe, leave a sub. I would like to hit 200 subs by the end of the week. I think we can do it. We're getting not too far away from that. Alright, we're on Land of Fire. We are top tier. This is a carrier game. So if we see the Arizona, there's a good chance Serov is there. So we may get to show off the AA in this match. Let's go ahead and go to the left here. Now, because we have fast speed and quick reload, I always like to dump torps into the cap. Maybe we hit something, who knows. One other thing you'll notice here. Take a look at this. This is the wide angle. For a lot of ships, this is the narrow angle. If we go ahead and use the narrow angle, look at that. That's tight shell grouping, or tight, you know, torp grouping. We're gonna take that there. Alright, so carrier is probably over here. Now, I am going to go left. Ooh, interesting. There's the skein. Maybe I won't go left. Let's go ahead and pop our defensive AA fire. Now you can see, that's a lot of flak. We've already got one plane shot down. And this consumable will last quite a long time. There's two planes. Getting touched pretty good there though. Aoba's smashing us.
Uwaga, podaję pozycję celu. Załogi dział przeciwlotniczych w stanie gotowości.
Hard to say what this guy's gonna do. Now, because we got touched and their destroyer did not, that does put us at a bit of a disadvantage here. Let's go ahead and get into A. Do I ever play World of Tanks? I do not. I do not. Battleships are kind of my thing. That's what I think is interesting. Now, most destroyers, you'd like to keep your AA off. In this case, I'm keeping it on, just because we have usable flak here, and there's not a bad chance that we end up with a clear sky, so... There's another plane shot down. Oh dear. That's what I love to see.
Kapitanie, problem rozwiązany.
Alright, we gotta disengage.
Doładowanie silnika włączone.
Although I don't know that we can. So, oh boy. Man, this is not good. Unfortunately, even with a AA build, if a carrier wants you dead, you know, between them and your team and their teammates, you're still going to end up dead, especially if you're overloaded like this. With a destroyer on your side. Let's go ahead and disengage AA for now. Never mind.
Drużyna
Dump
przeciwna
torps.
objęła prowadzenie.
So that guy just wasted his squadrons for nothing. Ooh, that was very close to getting us there, though. So you can see we're spacing out our torps. One, makes us more likely to hit. In theory, two, we really need to be getting permafloods to be doing damage to this ship. Now, we don't have enough hit points to really play around and try and get fires anymore, unfortunately, which is really what you'd like to be doing in a perfect world. But because we've been getting kind of demolished over here, we haven't had much of an option for that. It does shake our torps there. It'll be going right there. Disengage AA. Let's go ahead and go right there.
Potrzebna pomoc.
Yeah, you can see that's, here comes the fun police once again. Now we do have 12 planes shot down, which is nice. But again, if the carrier wants you dead, unfortunately, good chance you're going to be dead. If not by him, then by his teammates. Especially since that AOVA's focusing us very hard.
Krytyczne uszkodzenie silnika. Kapitanie, problem rozwiązany.
Now the best thing I think that we can do at this point is just try and torpedo these guys. Take up as much of their time as possible, take them out as far from the fight as possible, of course. Which is just kind of what I'm doing here. Ah, there we go. Unfortunate. Very low damage, and I don't know that this one's going to be usable. 16 planes shot down, but that's about it. Nothing special about that one. That's terrible, actually. Tried to hold the side, but it's a tough ship to play. It's a very tough ship to play. Let's go back. All right. Let's do take it up a couple. What time is it getting to be? I think I'm gonna do one more for this stream. One more little review. If you guys are enjoying, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. Helps out the channel greatly. And just two more and we'll have max dispersion on the Yamato. Boy, will I be looking forward to that. Let's go ahead and, I guess speaking of the Yamato, let's go ahead and do it. Alright. Get a quick little drink before I do this review here. I wonder what Skane's win rate is. Because I know that's something they track. They track win rate by ships. They also track average damage. They track a lot of things. And I gotta imagine it's pretty low. It is tough to play. I don't think it's terrible, but it's... a lot of games don't go great. Alright. Yamato. Alright. How's it going, folks? Wits NFL here, back again for another live one-take review. I say one take. It's usually one take, but obviously if a game goes terrible, you know, such as if I get dev struck, I can't really use that because that doesn't review the ship. Today, we have the Yamato. So Yamato is kind of, to me, the quintessential battleship. This is the one to have. If you are researching a legendary tier battleship, you're looking at them all, wondering what to get, do Yamato. Just don't question it, just do Yamato. That'll be your first one. The rest of them you can come after. But Yamato should be your first one. It's going to be the most familiar, especially if you've been playing Iowa. Or really any battleship. The fundamentals are all here. It's just taken to the extreme. Do the Yamato. You'll never have a bad time in it either. Well, you'll have a bad time sometimes, but it's not disappointing. So, that said, let's go ahead and take a look at our build real quick. We have Takao Takagi for our commander. He is the dispersion commander. Running flammable cannoneer, gyrating drill bits, marksmanship, and reaching out XXL with will to rebuild. We have Paolo Di Revel and Scharnhorst as our inspirations, Azulane Scharnhorst. If you do not have Scharnhorst, use Cunningham. But you'll have the opportunity to get Scharnhorst back next week, so I'd highly recommend that if you do not already have her. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Yamato. Now, of course, a lot of you history buffs out there will know that this was a real ship. It was the battleship. It was the largest battleship ever built, had the largest guns. Nothing else comes close. Ironically, the Iowa is actually longer than the Yamato, which is a little strange. I did not know that, despite being like twice the displacement. Yamato is not as long as Iowa, so that's interesting. This is a very good looking ship because it's a beast. I mean, look at how many guns this thing has. You have these massive 3 triple turrets, and look at all these secondaries. Now, unfortunately, the smaller secondaries do not actually work in the game. They're only used for AA. Wouldn't it be nice if they were, though? But you can kind of see you got 3 of those larger mounts and then 3 of the dual mounts up above. Those are your actual secondaries that are usable in game. Plus you've got the 2 turrets that are above the main guns. Those are 152s, so you basically have a couple of Suzia guns above your main guns. Secondaries aren't bad. They're a nice little deterrent, but they're not really going to be shredding a destroyer that's rushing you. They can help out, though. So, Yamato was the largest battleship ever built. Had the largest guns, 18.1-inch guns. The next closest was actually a British ship, the HMS Furious. Before its refit, had 2 457 or 18.0-inch guns. They were single-barreled, and that was not like a battleship, it was a battle cruiser. But still interesting to note. Following that, you got the Nagato and then the American 16s. So, for those of you wondering about your gun sizes and what comes close, that's it. HMS Furious is very interesting. Look it up if you've not heard of it. So, let's go ahead and take a look at a few things here. We have 2 repair parties with this build, so not many, but this thing's such a beast that it doesn't need many. And of course, Kurfürst is also getting 2. I think Montana is also getting 2, so nothing too out of the ordinary there. We get 4 spotter planes. Take the spotter planes over anything else. Don't question it, just do it. Let's go ahead and toss a flag on there just because. 90,000 hit points. Armor that goes from 16 to 650 millimeters. Nothing else comes close as far as 650 millimeters. That is the thickest armor in the game, bar none. 55% torpedo damage reduction, which is also the best in the game, bar none. Artillery, 3x3 460 millimeter guns. Huge guns. 19.5 firing range. 25-second reload. HE shell damage is pretty high at 7,300 maximum HE shell damage, 35% fire chance. You're not going to be shooting HE out of this thing very often, if at all. But you have it. You can dev strike a destroyer that rushes you. It's nice to know. AP shell damage, you've got 16,280. Very solid AP shell damage there. So the alpha strike on this thing is crazy. Like we said, you get a lot of secondaries. They only fire to 5.2 kilometers. They don't do crazy damage, but they also are pretty good. AA defense is 85. It fires out to 5 kilometers. It shoots down some planes. Don't sleep on it. Maximum speed, slow, 24.3 knots. This thing is absolutely horrendously slow. It's got a large turning circle, 20.1 rudder shift. I've not even noticed that, honestly, but that makes sense. It's a slug for sure. Concealment, 14 kilometer concealment. Don't ask me why the Yamato gets better concealment than the Iowa. You know, because balance. That's why. This ship is a thick one. So, 32 millimeter bow, and that is a very long bow, you'll notice. If we remove that, and there's also a 50 millimeter deck, so most of the deck plating here is 50 millimeters, so if you hit the Yamato on the deck, you're probably not going to be overmatching it in another Yamato, but Conqueror does overmatch it with its HE, so, you know, at range, Conqueror can beat a Yamato better than another Yamato can, a lot of times. So, let's go ahead and remove this. We've got our very thick torpedo protection, superstructure armor, casemate, and our guns, which is where the 560 and the 650 millimeter gun plating is. It's very thick. Now, that leaves us with the Citadel. Very interesting looking Citadel, isn't it? But you'll also notice, very thickly armored at 410 millimeters, but it's also about the size of a semi-truck. Well, really, this is the size of like probably 10 semi-trucks if we're talking actual scale, but just metaphorically. It's the size of a semi-truck. And it's raised. Again, about the height of a semi-truck. So, what does that mean? That means if you get caught broadside in this thing, you are a guaranteed dev strike. You will die if you go broadside in this ship. It is death. No question about it. No questions asked. Doesn't matter if it's a cruiser. Doesn't matter if it's a battleship. If it's like an Alaska or Stalingrad or any battleship at all, you are going to get dev struck. You will be dead. So don't even think RNG is going to bail you out. You're not getting bailed out. You'll be dead. You get the point. Also, you'll also notice up here, you see how the front of this, kind of by that turret number 1, is angled? That also means if something shoots you, let's go ahead and just place all this back here. If something shoots you at, say, this angle here, or no, rather it's this angle here, right below turret number 1 there, they will actually go right through you, and they'll Citadel you. It is possible to get dev struck from this angle here if somebody knows where to shoot. Again, has to be kind of near the water line, has to be at this angle. They got to be shooting just in the right spot below that number 1 turret. But it is possible to get Citadeled and dev struck from this angle in a Yamato. Sometimes even this angle. But a lot harder, a lot less likely. So keep that in mind. What's up, Vaz Vegas? How's it going? So that is the armor of the Yamato. Again, deck is not going to be overmatched, but Conqueror will slap this thing with HE. So, biggest battleship World War II, world's largest battleship. Yamato was designed around the idea, blah blah blah. It can beat everything, was the thought, except for carriers. They didn't think that far in advance. It says there were 4 ships in the series. That's a lie. There was actually 2. There was the Yamato, and there was the Musashi. Then you had a third one, which was completed, but not as a battleship. They actually, interestingly, you may not know, completed a third Yamato class and turned it into an aircraft carrier. I think it was called the Shinano, if I remember right. So you can imagine a 70,000 ton behemoth as an aircraft carrier. It was the largest aircraft carrier in the world up until the Midway, up until the US started doing what they do now and building floating cities of aircraft carriers. But we don't talk about carriers, because carriers suck. Alright, that said, we're going to go ahead and get to the gameplay with the Yamato. This is my favorite legendary tier battleship, unquestionably. Conqueror is pretty close second. Kurfürst, not even competitive, I don't think. And Montana is pretty good, but it doesn't have the overmatching that this thing has. One thing I did forget to mention, which is key about the Yamato, because it has 460mm guns. I keep forgetting not everyone knows all this stuff. 32mm bows can be overmatched by the Yamato. It takes exactly 460mm guns. Nothing less. It can't even be 459. Has to be 460. Can overmatch 32mm, which means every bow at tier 7 and every bow at legendary tier, pretty much with the exception of the Kurfürst, can be overmatched by the Yamato. So, if they go broadside to you, they're dead. If they go bow tanking to you, there goes half their health. What do you do? Who knows? Who knows? We are on Sea of Fortune. Let's take a look at what we've got going against us here. Three destroyers. They got a Kagero, Somers, Shima, so a lot of torque boats. 2 Yamatos, so gotta be careful about that. I mean, the destroyer gunfight, we've got one more Somers than they do, so that's got an advantage over the Kagero. Could go either way. I don't want to leave it to chance. If I see a destroyer, I'm gonna spot a destroyer. We have an Azuma and a Montana on this side. Not great odds, especially, I don't know what this guy's doing, but I don't think it's a good idea just looking at it. I don't know if he's abandoning the flank or going here. Either way, probably a terrible idea. Okay. So, like we said, we do have to be careful about the little cheek thing, but at this range, it's very hard to penetrate. It's really up close that you need to worry about it. Oh my god, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, he's slowing down, but it might not be enough to save him. No, he's speeding up. Let's see what happens. Oh, he gets away with it. He gets away with that far too much, I think. I was so excited there for a split second, and I was so disappointed with the results. What do we have left to shoot at? Now you also notice, not really a review aspect of this ship, but still nice. The gun sound is absolutely gorgeous. Nothing beats it. Oh, he's getting smacked. Let's continue to smack this man. Hurt him. Hurt him. Oh, there we go. Good shit, Somers. Good shit. Alright, they have abandoned the flank. There is nothing stopping us from getting this cap. We are just going to rush the cap. Don't abandon flanks. That happens to your teammates, and now we get free points, basically. So don't do this, guys. Unless you're against me, then do it. Please. Alright, we got a Flounder out there. No, we don't. Hopefully we get a Flounder out there again. They've kind of overloaded C. We've overloaded B. Which is just the way it goes. Oh, there's the Flounder. Tricky shot to place. I'm going to go with right here. Now, dispersion on Yamato, very good in my books, especially considering the kind of shells it just lobs out. They're very painful. They overmatch. They get great penetration. I mean, it's all... You get it all. there's Prince Eugen, who has decided he would like to die. Undershot him just a little bit. Oh, no we didn't. There went half his health. Ooh, we over-angled there. He slapped us. Yep. Like I said, this armor's not forgiving. You over-angle, you're gonna get absolutely pummeled. Down he goes. Uh-oh, there's a destroyer out there. Looks like a Sommers or a Shima. Well, I suppose it has to be since that's all that's left. Really hoping to avoid that, but that's alright. Am I still being a potato in World of Warships Legends? Yes, I am, Wildlands. Thank you for checking in. And you can see we just citadelled that guy through the stern. So overmatching is a very useful, very powerful mechanic. Broadside naked Yamato. Somebody just unlocked it. I swear people must be just unlocking these accounts, dude. You can't tell me you went through Legendary tier or all the other tiers and you just sit flat broadside in Yamato. Even if you didn't know that this ship gets absolutely nuked, it's like, you can't sit flat broadside. Alright. We get 8k off his superstructure here. Let's take another shot. Hopefully overmatching his stern plating. That's the goal here. Although we hit his gun, so... He is starting to show a very good angle, though. At this angle, we should be able to penetrate at the waterline, especially if he starts opening up more. We're gonna use spotter plane on that. He's gonna be taking torpedoes and a Yamato salvo. God help him. God help him. Oh, down he goes. Not due to us, but a combination of us and torpedoes. So yeah, not a forgiving ship as far as the Citadel at all. Don't play games. You will die. This ship has the least forgiving broadside in the game, I would say, other than the Veneto. Veneto's a little less forgiving. Although, I say that now, I've never been dev struck through the cheek. I know it's possible, but I don't really have too many problems with it. A lot of hit points to go around here. We're at 93,000 damage. We still have a lot of hit points, and we're kind of developing a crossfire. Oh man. He might outrun our guns, but I couldn't really shoot any further forward without hitting the island. So, we still get him for 10k, 11k. Blow up his gun. So I think the thing to do here... It's hard to say. Ooh, nice. Very nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to continue pushing forward. It's probably the best move. This Kansas is going to be in for a world of hurt here. Terrible dispersion there, but oh, it doesn't matter. He's dead. Yeah, Yamato guns are a thing of beauty. An undeniable thing of beauty. Best guns in the game. Unquestionably. I don't care what anyone else says. Your Montana might be nice, but it's not overmatching. It's not doing things like that. It might be doing things like that, though. Just the pen this thing has is just nuts. Now, Brandenburg does have an icebreaker bow, and I believe stern? No, just bow. So it does have the potential to bow tank us, kind of. But it does not have the potential to sit flat broadside to us and get away with it, unless we undershoot him. In this case, we got about 8k. Not what you want out of shooting Yamato guns, but not bad either. Let's go ahead and take another shot at him. And this could hurt. Another 10k. He is German, so... Do I think Yamato's too accurate for its gun caliber? No. No. Not after playing Worcester. Worcester is like... I think it's fine. In fact, I've heard people say it's too inaccurate, which I disagree with that. I think it's perfect where it is, I would say. Alright. Pretty good one. Pretty good one. So, we take a look at the standings here. We have 186,000 damage, 44 shells hit, 3 kills, 6 citadels, Dev Strike, high caliber, second on the leaderboard to the Turpitz, who had himself a great game as well, but 2467 elite XP, or base XP rather. Pretty fun. Yamato never fails, if nothing else, to be fun, in one way or another. Like I said, if you are sitting at that bureau, you're wondering what to get, Yamato. Do not get Kurfürst because it's the biggest ship in the game. Terrible idea. Kurfürst is the worst legendary as of right now. Probably will continue to be the worst legendary. Conqueror is a close second. That's not a bad choice, but Yamato is the way to go. So, with that said, hope you guys enjoyed the review. Appreciate you for dropping by. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, leave a subscribe. I would like to hit 200 subs by the end of the week. Help me get there. I'll catch you in the next one. Alright, on to the next one. What is legendary economy? I am sorry, I forgot to check the chat. I've been so focused with the review here. Legendary economy, let's take a look. See what legendary economy was. We're not doing too good on win rate here. Oh, I spoke too soon. I feel like I've lost a ton of games, but apparently I've been winning them. Let's see, that's 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and 2. Which makes it what? What is that? 66%? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's not bad. I could do Worcester. Legendary is expensive to run. Let me check the economy there. We made 58,000 credits. So, you're not going to be getting rich playing the legendary tier at all. You will not be getting rich at all. Let's go ahead and do the Worcester. I guess I'll end the review on the Worcester, or end the stream on the Worcester review. So you guys get one more review. So, let's see if I missed anything in chat here. She can still get Japanese dispersion. Yeah, no, it absolutely can get Japanese dispersion. I saw a couple salvos in that were Japanese dispersion, but... Sorry I missed your question there, Raceburn. Wasn't paying too close attention to the chat. I think I got everything, really. Yamato was my first legendary. Minotaur second. Minotaur is a great ship. Working on the Kurfürst. What about the Conqueror? Conqueror is way better than Kurfürst. Montana's better than Kurfürst too, but I digress. Yeah, no, Raceburn, if you have anything less than a great game in Legendary tier, you will be losing money for sure. If you don't have premium, you're going to be losing money basically no matter what. Are you serious? Did I... Hang on. Oh, 250,000. I thought you said 2.5 million service costs. I was like, I made 2.5 million from that? But no. Yeah, it's more based off of, I think, the, like, XP than anything else, the economy. So, it's not all about damage. So, that means playing objectives, hunting destroyers, hunting carriers, doing the things that help your team win. Alright, let's go and do the Worcester. This is going to be my last review of this stream. I won't be posting them all at once. Just kind of clip them, post them as time goes on. I may schedule them, so you might see them, but no, I won't do that because I feel like that's going to throw off the algorithm. So, I don't know. I'm going to play around with scheduling them. I'll see what happens. Alright, let's go and do the Worcester. Alright, how's it going, folks? What's NFL? Here back again for another honest, live, one-take ship review. This time we have the Worcester. Now this is a ship that I actually just unlocked, but I've played a lot of games in it for how long I've had it unlocked, which is 2 days, and I've yet to have a terrible game in it. I think I've only had one game out of like 8 that was less than 100k, and most of these have been crazy games, you know, 200k plus, Krakens. So really, really good ship. Insanely good ship. Let's go ahead and get into it. Our build: Norman Scott, Beyond Range, Igniter, Velocis, Steer Clear, Fully Packed, and we have Von Muller and Mimbelli for our inspirations. Excuse me, sneeze. Let's take a look at the Worcester. Now this was a real ship. It was the last all-gun light cruiser the U.S. Navy produced. It's kind of like a AA platform. Our build: we have AA guns mod 2. You do not need the dispersion on this ship. I mean, it's accurate, it's a cruiser. You don't have to worry about dispersion like battleships. But this is going to absolutely shred planes if you do this. I do steering gears and main battery. You could swap this out for average AA damage if you want to do an AA build, but this is, you know, to me this is better. So, it's got great AA as it is, and you can dodge planes, unlike battleships, so there's that to consider too. Loadout: 3 sonars, 3 radars. Now the sonar is very good at 4.4 kilometers, 3.1 kilometer detection of torpedoes, lasts 96 seconds, 180-second reload. Radar goes out to 9 kilometers, lasts 30 seconds, has a reload time of 120 seconds. Lastly, we have heals that heal 226 hit points per second, last 28 seconds, and reload in 80 seconds. We get 3 of those. Next up, survivability: 45,400 hit points, 19% torpedo damage reduction. You have 6 twin 152 guns, so that's a total of 12 Cleveland guns, basically, in twin mounts instead of triple mounts. They fire out to 16.9 kilometers. They reload in 3.8 seconds. They do 2,200 HE shell damage and have a 14.5% chance of setting fire, which is nuts. This thing's DPM is absolutely insane. You do not want to be on the receiving end of this. I know because I dish it out and I've taken it. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible if you're on the receiving end of it. 14.5% fire chance and 3,200 maximum AP shell damage. Now you can see our AA here is maxed out and then some. So we've got 152s fire out to 7.2 kilometers, doing 76 damage per second. We've got 76.2s firing out to 6 kilometers, doing 307 damage per second. Another set of 76.2s firing out to 6 kilometers, doing another 39 per second. And lastly, we've got 20 mil Orlikins doing 73 damage per second at 2.4. So just in case you didn't get the memo with the rest of these, you know, shredding your planes, you get a little bit more if you continue to harass the Worcester. Not that it matters, because your planes are going to regenerate anyway, so. But you get some nice defense against carriers with the Worcester. Maximum speed of 35.1 knots, 740 turning circle radius. 3.6 rudder shift, and concealment of 12.2 kilometers with this build. Now, next up we have the armor. Armor. We have 32mm bow and stern plating. Why? I don't know. Don't ask me. Did it need it? No. It also, if that weren't enough, gets a 32mm deck. Or no, I'm sorry, that is a 30mm deck. So my apologies. So that means Georgia actually overmatches the deck. That's interesting. You have 6 guns. They have Cleveland armor. It's not really particularly well armored, but you don't really have to worry about that. The upper side plating of the belt is 25mm, which means anything with larger than 14-inch guns actually overmatches this. So even if they're showing, say, this angle, don't shoot the bow. Shoot that green part right there. You'll overmatch it, probably get 10k. If they go broadside, they have a very thin armor belt. However, take a look. It is raised. And unlike the Cleveland, this thing does get nuked. So you're not going to be sitting here getting overpenned all the time. You will get nuked occasionally. But you can bow and stern tank anything. So, other than your motto. Keep that in mind. Reloader, absolutely. This thing is very quick to reload. Nimble aim, absolutely. These guns turn very quick. Sluggish shot, yeah, it's an island spammer. So, you know, that's to be expected. It was a real ship. There were 2 of them. They entered service in 1948. So, with all that said, let's go ahead and get to the gameplay. And let's see what I missed in chat here. What's up, DJ? Alright, good night, Jacob. Service fee should relate to how much damage you take. I don't know, that's hard to say, because, like, what do? Do you take more damage, you get more credits? That rewards bad gameplay. But if you don't do that, then, you know, bad players are never going to get better, because they'll never make money, so... who knows? Service costs can be different. Each match depends on how much ammo you use. Really? The more shots you take, the higher your service cost? I had no idea about that. Interesting, and it kind of makes sense, but also a little frustrating, I guess. Huh. There's a flat service fee if you use the ship, and it costs more if you, for things like shells fired or if your ship survives the match. The more you know. Or no, Vaz says that's a myth. But Wildlands says that is not a myth. A Yamato secondary shot is 400 credits. Jesus. Go ahead, run your secondary build in your Yamato. No destroyers in this match. 2 Yamatos. No other legendary tier battleships. They have 2 Alaskas, so those are a little concerning. Now, we have us, and a Malfi, and a Massachusetts. Couple things. Now, this ship is a King Island spammer. You want to find an island, you want to sit behind it, and you want to make everything else regret ever having downloaded this game. You can also kite away and HE spam them, still make them regret ever downloading this game. Both of those are great ways to reduce the player base count. Because trust me, people will do this, get spammed once, and they will never play Legendary Tier again. It is busted. Although I do see the point that everything at... That's the thing, is everything at Legendary Tier, with the exception of the Kerfers, is busted in its own way. So, you know, it kind of fits right in. Alright, we don't want to get too close to the island, so this is probably about good. Coding crazy.
We've been spotted.
Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. We don't want to be spotted. Luckily, he can't hit us, so I'm not worried about it. So you can see, we've already got a fire. We did not get overpenned there. So, believe it or not, it is possible to not over-penetrated. We are spotted again, which is not ideal, especially when we're sitting broadside to the Yamato.
Ship is on fire.
Yeah, that's not good. We need to get behind the island. Better than we are.
Attention. Reporting a target position.
We are stuck here because the engine is disabled, which is not good.
Main turret critically damaged.
Come on. This engine's taken an eternity and a half. Well, there's a double fire. I don't know if it's perma or not.
Problem solved, sir.
I don't know why we're spotted, honestly. Nice. This map's a little weird in how its island spotting works.
Main turret critically damaged.
There's the Alaska. Still hurting us. Now you can see our AA is just absolutely firing out to infinite range here. Go ahead and take some shots out that way. Now that Yamato just got melted. Was it all us? No, but it was enough of us to really just melt him very quickly, right? It was at least half us. Let's go ahead and pop a heal. We do have to be careful about this Alaska out here. We have drop spot, so we're good. Now, obviously, anytime you're island spamming, it's best to not be spotted. Sometimes that's not always possible, such as in this map. But if nothing else, make it so they can't shoot you back. Really, we probably should have been better off kiting rather than island spamming there. But we did our job as far as melting the Yamato's hit points away. The spreadsheet said he had fun, and there was nothing wrong with what happened to him. According to Wargaming's infinite wisdom of calculations, it is a simple calculus. Mauled Outlaw 13. I respect it. Now just look at the shower of HE shells just going out towards this guy. Dear Lord, what is he doing? Did he quit? I don't know. Let's load AP. No, he did not quit. He has found the will to play again. I don't know how.
Requesting assistance.
Now there's a flounder out there. Let's see if we can island spam the flounder, maybe. We have to be careful about the Alaska. There we go. Now we can lob the island. tricky spot to get correct. I don't know that there's a correct way to do it now. Yeah, might not be a great spot to be island spamming from, but it's what we have. But not really working that well, so let's focus on a different target here. Given that there's an Alaska coming, I would like to turn around and start kiting. Maybe we spam this guy with HE, although he's going to be showing us a very good angle. Let's go ahead and swap to AP real quick. Let's just see what happens with AP. Ooh, that was 5K. Another 6K. Very nice. Oh boy.
Is in sight.
Alright, here comes the Flaunder. Let's just load AP. Now this is no Minotaur, but, I mean, if a battleship's going to give you broadside, you might as well just start shooting them with AP. Just because of the sheer amount of shells you're going to be pumping out at him. You see, it starts to really add up. Down he goes.
Enemy battleship destroyed.
There was a perfect opportunity to island spam a little bit more. Now this was a bit of a steamroll for the enemy team. So don't be afraid to use AP in this ship. Don't sleep on it. It's not Minotaur AP, but it is, you know, it's 152s that reload really quickly. It's American, so it's not that bad. Pretty plain one. Now, I do have a few Minotaur games on my channel by this point. Feel free to check those out to see what you can get on this ship, and really you get more than what I've been able to achieve. But you get the idea of the ship, right? It's a much better Cleveland, and Cleveland as it is already really good. This thing is pretty busted. It's just the spam that you can just chuck at people is insane. And there's really nothing they can do about it. Don't be afraid of this ship as opposed to Minotaur. You'd think it misses the smokescreen, but it really doesn't. There's a lot of opportunities to island spam. With the 32mm bow and stern, you don't get, like... You have a bailout, you have a crutch to rely upon, so... Yeah, that is the Worcester. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you've enjoyed the review. Hope you've enjoyed the stream. If you guys are new, leave a like on the video, and more importantly, subscribe to the channel. I would greatly like to reach 200 subscribers by the end of the week this week. We are at 169 now, so we've gained quite a few subscribers from this video. You can be the 170. If you're 170, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. I would appreciate it. Guys, I hope you have a great night. Hope you have enjoyed this. Be on the lookout for these games. I'm going to be clipping most of them, putting them up as reviews. Not all tomorrow, not all tonight, but more and more as time goes on. I may redo some. I don't know. But I hope you guys have a good night, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for tuning in.